Hey everybody, thank you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so delighted. We're gonna wait a few minutes. My husband is sending out a text to all of our ministry partners and whatever, just to come on and join us on this live tonight. I mean, on this morning. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying tonight whenever we're usually live at night, so it's a force of habit. But I'm excited, and if you've noticed, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. We've got so much to chat about. I'm very enthused about this life that I am living and this lifestyle that, has chosen me, and now I'm finally choosing it back. And I'll get more into that and what that means to me. But if you've noticed when you're coming in that I've changed the name of the channel, and for a very good reason. I think that I had to be in touch with who I am, and I started off on the keto journey, and I do love it. Thought it was wonderful, but unfortunately, and perhaps even fortunately at the same time, I had to go up and go up a little higher concerning my health. I told you before about the journey of the whole thing with CHF. Since I've gone vegetarian, I'm telling you guys, when I first started doing keto, I started feeling better. I started really, really getting better. And then when I started doing this, it just took it to the next level. And so I'm so grateful today. I'm sorry, you guys see me fixing my. I'm so grateful today that it was not the journey that I wanted, but now that I've taken it, when the old folks say that I wouldn't get nothing for my day's journey, I wouldn't get anything, I wouldn't change it. I'm really embracing this life, and I'm absolutely loving it. So as more of you join on, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more and why this has become such an integral part of who I am. At first, it was just about giving so much in. I was reading an article probably a few weeks ago, and it was basically talking about, kind of like how we change our skin layers are always rejuvenated. And I can't remember the amount of hours, if it was 2 days to 3 days, but whatever, that becomes the lining of your skin. So you really are what you eat. And so I thought about it, and I began to read some books on it. And so I really understand now that it's better for me, especially having gone through things that I've gone through, to eat things that are living. And so I'm not against people. I'm not against, meat eating. I'm a country girl. I grew up what we call in Louisiana boucheries. We made our own hog cracker when we did this. From cows to pigs to chickens, we had it, baby, and everything else in between. So I'm not opposed to it. I just know that I had to change my life. And what's important is, as much as possible, I'm not vegan, but I am vegetarian. And so, and I'm loving it. So today I'm going to try holistic. I'm going to go and probably test some of these with you because I haven't been able to do this, but y'all, Chalk Zero, if you haven't gotten it yet, you can get this from, I went first, back that up. I went quickly to Whole Foods today, and I got a little bag of surprises. So I haven't tried this one yet. I've got the almond flavor in this, the almond one, not almond flavors, almonds. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Is that you, babe, on the line with me? It says one. Okay, so whoever I see. All right, come on in, family. Come on in, family. Chalk Zero is it's like $7.49 plus tax. It's 6 little bars in there, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and open it, and so it's a little bit on the pricey side, but it is so worth it, Lord. Have mercy, these things are good. I haven't tried the hazelnut, which is what I have yet here, but I've gotten the almond like twice, and the almonds are so delicious. I'm not really a hazelnut person. I tried it because it was the almonds were all out, so the hazelnut was there. So I was like, okay, I'll try hazelnut on the live a little bit later. But what's great about this is dairy free, it's soy free, it's sugar alcohol free. So that's really awesome. Hey T, I see you. I see you. Good morning to you. So those of you who want this and you want to satisfy something you really don't have to feel bad for, it's 120 calories per bar. It says 15 carbs per bar, but the dietary fiber on it is 13 grams. So that means you only have 2 net carbs. Y'all, hello, 2 net carbs. You can't beat that. And the taste is absolutely delicious. It's tiny, but it's good. It's a serving. If you get that little, that little itch for chocolate, like, oh, I need some chocolate in my life, this is it. Now, and let me tell you something else. I know there are things that you can get that are a little bit cheaper, and you can get bigger quantities and stuff like that. But most of it has like a bunch of maltitol. So we were on our way back from a party last night, and I was hungry because, like, okay, I hadn't had anything to eat. So the first time I got to eat was 4 o'clock, but I hadn't really any vegetables. So on the way back, we stopped to Target, and I got some the little Atkins bar, and they're low carbs, but it had a lot of maltitol. And I kid you not, the first thing that we had to do was pull over. I had to vomit. My system can't really take that type of stuff anymore. And it's crazy because that was the time I would have enjoyed, that Atkins bar with great pleasure. So this is what it is for me now. I got some more great surprises. We're going to keep it moving. Now, mind you, this, y'all, I'm not lying. It's the truth. Second thing is, this is not the brand I had last time. I couldn't find it. So, and I couldn't even remember what it was. I like spicy things. I'm a Creole girl, so we like our food spicy, period. So I find myself probably over spicing my vegetables and everything else. But it's good because it used the herbs, it used all this other great stuff, and it really helps. And what I liked about this one is, like, basically for 2.5 cups, that's only 150 calories. So you can eat 2.5 cups of this. It's a good snack. It says 14 carbs, but it has 2 dietary fibers. And this one, actually, there's another one, and I got the little skinny popcorn. That one has like I forgot, X amount of dietary and then fiber, and then X amount of insoluble fiber. And so it really lowers the carb count. But I'm just letting you know that these are also things that you can do holistically: non-GMO popcorn, gluten-free, air pops, without all of the extra stuff, the bad stuff, and keep it natural as possible. So, and then also, I haven't tried this either, but it's tailor-made. They say Louisiana. It's Cajun cheddar, Cajun cheddar kale chips, and they had them in like sour cream and onion and everything else. And I really don't know if I'm gonna like these or not, but I thought they were interesting. Look, I'm gonna be a good sport because I know that chocolate gonna taste good. Ain't no doubt about it, and I know that popcorn gonna taste good. I'm not so sure about it, but I'm gonna be a good sport and I'm gonna taste it because I don't want you purchasing anything that I probably wouldn't eat myself. But I saw this option and I thought, hey, this would be something to try on live. Y'all, I like. Kale is a superfood. I like. And then they have the spice on there. Like we say in Louisiana, show you right. It's good. It's so good. I'm gonna try some other flavors too. It's Cajun cheddar. It's spicy. I can taste the cheddar. And then look at the ingredients, y'all. Kale, cashews, lemon juice, bell pepper, nutritional yeast, jalapeno peppers, onion powder, cayenne pepper powder, turmeric. Y'all know all the great benefits of turmeric, agave nectar, black pepper, and salt. This is really good for your health. It tastes really great. Want to try some? Oh, you said eat more? He said, nah, it's good. This is really good. Yeah, my husband won't try stuff, but this is good. And my new favorite item that I'm going to present today. This is what I want to talk about: women's health and deodorant. So this is the first one I got. I actually got two. Let me see if I can bring it all the way up. This is Secret aluminum-free deodorant, Honeydew, and this is like the daily. Why do I like that? Because I've really been reading all of these articles and been kind of feeling kind of convicted in my consciousness. Um, about all of these deodorants, because a lot of times, you know, there are studies. If you start researching, there are studies that kind of link deodorant that helps. It's not swab, baby, it's secret. Try profit. Thank you. But a lot of women have been linking, talking about this, and they believe that it's linked to breast cancer, right? So I've been talking about doing the salt crystals and different things like that. And so when I saw this, I thought, well, you know what, this would be a very good transitional deodorant, because here's the thing. When I started doing the research, why is it important? Aluminum is a neurotoxin. And so as a neurotoxin, you know, what it, let me go back. Let me get a quick science lesson. A lot of times we're like, well, why is this bad? There is a difference, and I'm really learning some of this today, like a few days ago, and when I say today, but there is a difference between a deodorant and an antiperspirant. And the big difference is that antiperspirant is something, there's a type of chemical that they're placing in there to literally block and clog your sweat glands, so that you're unable to sweat. It creates the inability to sweat. So let me tell you something. Sweating to the natural body, to the body, is a natural thing God created for us, first of all, to cool us off. And then secondly, after cooling us off, it also releases toxins. And what happens is that the large companies try to downplay that by saying that's not really important. You can release toxins through your liver and all this other stuff, and through your waste, basically. They're saying, you know, when you basically go into the bathroom, you should take care of it all. But there's a reason why your body's able to to release toxins through sweat. And so when you inhibit that, you are creating some type of dysfunction in the body. Anytime you stop the body from doing what it's naturally created to do, you're going to run into a problem. And so there are so many studies that show that there is potentially a lot of problems. It's been linked to Alzheimer's, it's been linked to autism, spectrum disorders. And typically it's removed in the bloodstream by the kidneys. But you know what? The problem with aluminum, it's also found as the adjuvant in vaccines, y'all. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, you've seen all of this craze lately, and they're trying to get hard on parents who don't want to vaccinate their kids. But there's a reason for that. You know, as scientifically advanced as we are as a community, why are we using it as an adjuvant in vaccines? That's not necessary. We can use so many other different things, because basically it's just serving as a vector. If you take any level of microbiology class, a vector is just something that transports something from one place to another. If you're an herbalist and you talk about essential oils and things like that, they'll tell you, you know, certain oils can't naturally be absorbed by the body, but if you put it on a carrier or a vector, it can be absorbed. So that's basically what it starts to do. But there are so many other ways and so many other options that we have on the table that there's no need to use a neurotoxin to do that. So I've tried it. I've been on it for about a week now, and I absolutely love it. It's made out of glycerin, and it has no parabens in it. It has no dyes in it. The smell is really great. The honeydew is my favorite scent. I like it more than the daylily. I haven't tried the rose water or whatever, because I'm just not big into rose water. So I don't know. It may smell well, but smell good, but I just hadn't tried it. But it's not, Secret is not the only one that made an aluminum free. Dove came out with another one on the market. I'm a Secret girl, so I thought this was a good transition for me to see, okay, let's move from this to the other one. If we just can't go from regular wearing deodorant to salt crystals, somebody's thinking about, you know what, small changes really do matter. And so you do that one small change at a time, and it's going to help you. It's going to, you don't know if you're saving someone from breast cancer. So they're not going to tell you the truth, because every time that study is created that shows something that's negative, big farm, big companies, we have all of this money. They create their own studies to counterpose it, to say, oh, that's not true. Well, you know what? Can you trust the integrity of a study that's done and operated by the company that wants you to purchase their item? No. So I tell this anybody, if you've ever taken any statistics class, if you ever taken any type of class like that, you know that numbers can be manipulated. And so it's just basically a manipulating game. You can say 70% were not found of this. Okay, but how large was that study? Are we talking about 200 people, or are we talking about 10 people? Okay, Are we talking about, did you get a variety of number of people with different genetics? What are the races of the people that are involved? Things like that. So it's a whole varied type of thing that can be introduced, and so they just they just skew the results and say, okay, no. So I'm telling you, this is my new favorite option. If you want to transition, this is something, because a lot of times that aluminum gets caught in the gland, and a lot of time when women have breast cancer, it's on the outer quadrant. It's not usually in the front quadrant. It's in the outer quadrant. So you know what that means? That means that what's happening there is getting there from the lymph nodes, from the underarm when you're putting your deodorant. When you're putting your deodorant on. So that's part of why I wanted to kind of bring it to the attention. I don't claim to know everything in holistic living, and I feel it is my duty to kind of just share my journey along. Hopefully, it helps somebody else along the way, and it'll strengthen you. My way of eating now is that I try to mimic what I call the life factor. Our bodies are created with 70% of water. So I try to eat foods that have 70% of water in them or higher. Like you look at watermelon. Watermelon is good. People talk about sugars. Sugars are really they're harmful. We take in way too many for them. But the difference with fruits, and I'll tell you why, is that they have such a high water content. So when you have a high water content, you're not going to rush or spike your insulin level so high. So people try to lump them all together, but it's not true. The problem with it is that when you eat food that has high sugar content, it doesn't mimic the pattern of life as far as water content, then you have a problem, because now that sugar is going to be stored as fat. The problem is when you have the water, it's going to be like it's a natural system to resolve and to flush itself out. But when your fat cells begin to store the sugar and store the glycogen, you have the putting on a weight, you have the potential for diabetes, you have the potential for so many other health factors. So it does matter, where does the sugar come from? I would get the deodorant. That's right, Jennifer. I'm telling, good morning, good morning. And it has so many things. Now I'm gonna tell you something else about deodorant. Um, Not deodorant, antiperspirants. The most effective one is they'll try to do it with like aluminum chloride, but there's one called aluminum zirconium, and they say that it says the most effective for blocking up the sweat glands and all of this other stuff. But guess what? And it's less irritating to the skin. It may work better, but it's a better clogger. So if something is a better clogger, I even read a study yesterday that absolutely blew my mind at how dumb it was. It literally said, well, how can it get into the bloodstream? Because your skin acts as a barrier. First of all, the skin is the largest organ in the body. True, it does act as a barrier. But you go put yourself in some tar. You go put yourself in some kind of chemical. How do you think that Roundup is getting to people's body and causing cancer and all kind of stuff? Yes, your skin is a level of protection, but yes, absorption also as well happens through the skin. So some of these studies are so outrageous. They're not telling you the truth because they want you to feel okay with taking the chemicals into your body. And so we just have to take ownership of our health and do better. So that's all I'm going to say about the deodorants. I'm going to go back in. Chalk Zero, y'all, is the bomb. I know it's going to be good. Didn't have to even worry about opening it. I just like pepper things, as you can see. So these are low calorie water and alkaline water. This is like 9.5 in pH. 33 ounces. So I know if I drink 2 of those, I've got to 66 ounces. My goal is to get close in the 60s, close to about 70 ounces of water a day. But make sure you get your water in. And that's it. That's all I have today. Thank you for joining in. As I said, we're going to talk about things that perhaps are keto friendly, but most importantly, we're going to talk about holistic living. Oh, and shout out to Taylor Made Cajun Cheddar, kale chips. These things are delicious. You guys rock. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Mwah.